What's up YouTube, Capital G here. Got a couple of fun duels for you guys to check out. You're going to see one of Yu-Gi-Oh's premier hand traps used in a very interesting way. Definitely not something that I'm used to seeing. Let's see, we've got Noble Knights down at the bottom, going to be dueling against Metafist. This is probably like a neutral matchup. I don't think that either one of these decks has a decisive advantage in terms of just like, how good they are. They're basically on the same tier, maybe tier 3-ish. We know that Metafish just want to banish as many cards as possible, see the Desires, see the Necro face, and Noble Knights, they want to get to ISO'd, go for those Exceeds, and then just put as many Noble Arms cards on the field as possible. I believe that Noble Knights are up first, and Madrat usually is a good starter. Put a Noble Arm card on it, and then it can summon a Noble Knight from the deck. This one in particular is excellent because it can give you a token, and that means that it's basically a one-card ISO'd. You can use that token for a link summon. Once you get to ISO'd, you're basically off to the races. I still wish that Morgan was a freaking warrior monster. I mean, Morgan is basically like the Subterra Fiendus for this archetype, and it's a shame that it's not searchable from Rhoda or from ISO'd, which would definitely help Noble Knights out a lot. You can see that he did go for a Noble Knight XC, and then he put 3 Noble Arms on that card, so that's pretty good. He's going to activate that copy of Until Noble Arms Are Needed once again, and he does get a Morgan, so that's actually kind of nice. Going to use the negation of Morgan instantly. I don't know if you wanted to do that, but whatever. Also going to use the Ash. I feel like this player is just throwing them hand traps out there like crazy. Like, whatever you throw out there, I'm using my hand traps. Unfortunately, Ash Blossom will be met with cross out designator, man. Then when we get this card in TCG, it'll be so good. Such a strong card. He can banish an Ash Blossom from his deck and negate the Ash Blossom. Such a great card in mirror matches or just against like hand traps. Pot of Desires is going to be used, and then another Metafist will be activated. Aloof Lapine, that's going to banish the Necro face in hand to banish a Necro face in deck. And my goodness, 10 cards are coming down from both of you, but obviously that benefits Metafist much more because they want their monsters to be banished. They want their spells and traps because they can do this. They can start, tagging them back into the deck and then special summoning from the hand. I believe Duelist will be summoned, gonna banish gonna vanish that Noble Knight monster, clear the courtroom, as they said in the original DM anime, but it's fine. He can still summon from the trap. Now he can go for Brothers, and just like that, he's got like 4 monsters on the field. Brothers is not a hard once per turn, and it does have that kind of, what's that card? It's like Daigusto Emerald. Basically, it lets you draw a card for shuffling back 3 of your Noble Knight cards back into your deck and your Noble Arms. ISO'd will be summoned once again. He's actually going to get the God Phoenix Gearfried. Nice boss monster. Maybe he might use that in another turn. Let's see, he's going to equip a bunch of Noble Arms, and looks like he is at least getting rid of his opponent's field. This is the interesting part. So a lot of people sleep on Aloof Lapine. They forget that this card, when it is destroyed by the opponent's monster, whether it be by battle or a card effect, this card lets you get something in your banished pile and add it to your hand. And check out the spice he's actually going to get when Aloof Lapine goes down. He says, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take this Nibiru, thank you very much. Now his opponent's like, oh, come on, Cap. I know I can't do anything. He says, oh, you think you're going to the end phase unscathed? No way. I'm going to go ahead and Nibiru you. I wonder why he didn't do that in the battle phase, though. He would have probably not taken the attacks. So that could have been, kind of useful. Anyways, Nibiru token summoned in defense mode. He is going to get Soul Absorption, and he picks up a copy of Metaphysics Dimension. Now, these obviously are really good as he attacks his Nibiru token, because if he banishes any of his Metaphysics cards, then he gets to pop a card on his opponent's side of the field. When Ragnarok is summoned, it excavates 3, or I think it banishes it banishes the 3 off the top of your deck. And since it hits a Metaphysics card, he ends up popping his opponent's Gearfried, and that is a Rizzy. I guess, you know what? When was this guy summoned? Because I'm wondering if he could have just used Effect Veiler, but I wonder if it was summoned maybe during the standby phase, because then it obviously no, you'd still be able to use it. Yeah, that's interesting. Why didn't he just use, I think I'm crazy. Yeah, why didn't he use the Effect Veiler unless he thought that he wouldn't hit any Metaphys cards, because I guess it's kind of like using Effect Veiler on Salaman Great Foxy. You could end up wasting the Effect Veiler, and then it's like, I took a -1, but he ended up hitting a card, and that's unfortunate because he ends up getting the, he gets the effect of Dimension off. Anyways, second duel is going to be ABC facing off against Magical Musketeers. This is another matchup that I think is fairly neutral. Most people would probably say right now that Magical Musketeers are a little better than ABC, but I still think ABC are a legitimate deck. I mean, they have lots of good pieces, and they have so many monsters that float. Unfortunately, Magical Musketeers don't do really anything if you go first with them. This is why the archetype traditionally wants to go second. If Upstart Goblin was at 3, maybe you could argue for Musketeers going like second, but, or excuse me, going first. But going first, you don't do anything. You just summons Caspar and then passes. That's not a good turn. His opponent's going to take it with Mind Control, and once I'm on Mind Control as my only monster, I'm like, oh lord. My primary objective is to make sure I survive the turn. He's going to go into that IP Masquerena, which seems to be like one of the biggest cards from Chaos Impact. Everybody's playing that damn thing. Doesn't drop a Buster Dragon, but doesn't need to because he does have Field Presence. He is going to activate Masquerena's effect. He's going to go into the Nightmare Unicorn. This is a very common play that we see. Unicorn's effect is going to try to spin the Starfire back to the deck, but she will be able to activate probably to summon a Caspar from the deck. Oh no, doesn't go for Caspar. Instead goes for Calamity. I believe this summoned the Caspar from the graveyard. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Going to go into Magical Musketeer Max and use the Dancing Needle to take out some of those ABC pieces. That was also pretty smart. You don't want your opponent summoning Buster Dragon, so if you can banish the pieces, then obviously that's going to help. Now, unfortunately, not able to get over these monsters, and his opponent has another Mind Control. This boy got Mind Controls for days, and he is going to go for Nightmare Phoenix, pops the face down, or the field spell. He is going to attack, even though the Nightmare Unicorn has 0 attack, the Phoenix is giving it battle protection. He still takes the damage, which is nice. Now, this is where Magical Musketeers usually will capitalize. When their opponent has a bunch of monsters on the field that don't really do anything, and you summon Max, you get like a +3, essentially. It's actually kind of ridiculous, like how many pluses you can get off of that. So he's going to go Calamity to get back Caspar, activate Max's effect, gets 3 searches. This was a misplay in my opinion. Considering the Phoenix is giving battle protection, I'm not sure why he didn't target the Phoenix, because if he targets the Phoenix, then he can just like run it over in battle, and then the Unicorn becomes susceptible too, which the Unicorn is now immune to card destruction. He doesn't do that, and I feel like that probably cost him the game. Maybe you could argue that he could have possibly went if he would have done this play a little differently. Could have maybe even went for Utopia double for like an OTK or something like that. He is going to get 1 more search from Caspar, but I feel like he's just going to get overwhelmed at this point. He does try to destroy the Nightmare Unicorn, only to realize, oh snap, Masquerena does give protection, so that's unfortunate. He drops Buster Dragon. He's going to banish that face down, then tag out. I love when ABC summon Buster Dragon, because generally if that Buster Dragon lives for a turn, if it doesn't get Ghost Ogred or Solemn Strike or something like that, this is the type of board that they're going to end with. They're going to have a massive board because they tag out during the opponent's end phase. They get 3 more monsters, use those monsters for link material, and then usually they can summon like another Buster Dragon like that second copy. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed those duels. If you did, give a video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.